He nodded. And not just crackpots. It says here that the pharaohs of Egypt saw them, as well as Christopher Columbus, Andrew Jackson, and the NASA astronauts. Krissi nodded and repositioned the pencil on her writing pad so it would flow more smoothly. Still, nothing happened. Philip continued. 95% of the sightings can be explained, but there's still 5% that no one has an answer for. Oh, and listen to this. Currently, there are over 1,000 documented cases of personal contact with alien creatures. You mean where people actually meet them? Yes. It also says there are UFO channelers and automatic handwriters around the world. Krissi's excitement drooped. So there are more people than just me doing this type of writing? Oh, yes, tons. In fact, it says... Philip, she interrupted, look at my hand. It's starting. They both looked down at the paper as her hand began to write letters. It was the same handwriting they'd seen before. Well, this is so cool, she chirped. I'm not having to zone out or daydream or anything. Now it's just happening as I sit here talking. Philip cocked his head to watch the letters form. I guess that means it's getting stronger. Krissi corrected. He's getting stronger. Philip shrugged. He still wasn't entirely convinced. They continued watching, but instead of the New Age ramblings that Krissi's hand usually wrote, this message was short and to the point. Greetings in the name of the Intergalactic Alliance. The time for our rendezvous has arrived. Prepare for encounter at Old Logging Road off Highway 72, north of Seth Creek, 8 p.m. Peace, Zandrak. The pencil came to a stop. Philip's and Krissi's hearts pounded as they stared at the message. Neither fully believed what they saw. Finally, Philip looked at his watch. It's 7:07. Krissi nodded, swallowing back a wave of both fear and excitement. If we're going to meet him, we better hurry. Sweetheart, I'm just a little concerned, that's all. Everything's fine, Mom. But you're spending all your evenings there, and Becka and I, we hardly ever see you anymore. Scott could feel his mother closing in. If he didn't hurry and ease her fears, she could stop him from going over to Hubert's. He reached across the dinner table for the casserole dish and piled up an extra portion of hamburger whatever onto his plate. Eating was a good way to stall while he thought of the best approach. Come to think of it, eating was good for just about anything these days. At 15, Scott Williams was growing faster than a weed, and food was one thing he could never get enough of. Food and playing crypts and wizards. The game had been going on for about 2 weeks now. Daryl, his best friend, had invited him over to his cousin Hubert's house. As a part-time computer whiz and a full-time weirded-out genius, Hubert had modified an incredible fantasy role-playing game. Each night he would lock himself away in an upstairs bedroom and run the master computer while Scott and a half-dozen other players plugged in their own computers downstairs and tried to track down the treasure Hubert had hidden in a special crypt, a crypt that only he had a map for. The game was incredible. Not only did it give Scott a chance to really use his mind, but he could put that incredible imagination of his to work as well. Each of the players played a character with special strengths, personalities, and magical powers. Some were elves, others werewolves, warriors, warlocks, wizards, zombies, and the list went on. You could be anything you wanted, and nothing matched the excitement of battling as a supernatural character who had special weapons, spells, and magical powers. Of course, Scott knew some of this stuff could be pretty dark at times, and it did make him just a little bit nervous. But hey, it was only a game, just make-believe, all in his imagination. The character he had created for himself, a mystical holy man by the name of T'Ox, Scott spelled backwards, had many of the same personality traits he did. A strong sense of justice, a belief in the supernatural, and a love for people. As the game continued over the hours, the days, and on into the weeks, Scott had grown more and more attached to the little guy. Together the two fought off the ghouls and monsters that Hubert and the other players' characters threw at them. All this while carefully planning their route to get the treasure.